Hello everyone. Let us see some more concept of memory management. The next concept is swapping. So let us see what is swapping. So we can use swapping to run multiple programs concurrently. Yes, if you want to run multiple programs concurrently, then swapping will be needed. So let us see how it will work. So suppose if you have some primary memory, which is your RAM, in which some portion will be occupied by your operating system and rest of the portion will be used by your user program. Another one is your secondary memory, which is your hard disk. Your program will be stored in this hard disk. When you are running your program, so this swapping will be performed. So let us see how this will be occurred. So once you are running your program, so your program will be loaded from your secondary memory to primary memory, means your hard disk to your RAM. So this operation is called as swapped in. So when your program will be finished its execution, after it your data will be written back to the your hard disk, and that operation is known as the swapped out. So there are two operations in swapping. One is swap in and second one is swap out. So generally you can say that the process of bringing in each process in its entirely into memory, running it for a while and then putting it back on the disk is called swapping. So this is one of the important concept of memory management. When you are running the multiple programs, then frequently this operation will be performed, swap in and swapped out. So next concept is memory allocation algorithm. So here we have four different memory allocation algorithm. First one is first fit, next one is next fit, third one is best fit, and fourth one is worst fit. So let us see all algorithms one by one. The first algorithm is first fit. So here we have primary memory, which is divided into the different size of blocks. So in this algorithm, start from the starting location of your memory. So when any process comes into the picture, your searching will be started from the beginning. Next is first available hole, that is large enough to hold the process is selected for allocation. Yes, what your search will be beginning from the starting point, and whenever your process will get the particular block which is having the enough capacity to store it, that particular block will be allocated to your process. So the whole is broken up in two pieces, one for process and another for your unused memory. Yes, when your any process will be allocated some block, then that particular block will be divided into part. First one is allocated part and next one is unallocated part, which is unused memory. So let us see the example. Here we have four different processes having the different sizes. So how these four processes will be allocated to that particular block. So let us see. The first process is 212K. So search will be beginning from the first point. So first block is 100 kilobyte size. So it is not big enough to store this process, so it will search to the next block which is having the size of 500k, and which is enough to store this process. So this 212k 212k process will be stored over here, and this shaded part is allocated one, and the rest of the part is unused memory. So now what will happen, the next process comes into the picture, which is 417 kilobyte, and will be beginning from the start. There is no enough size block is available at the last block, which is this 600 kilobyte, which will be allocated to that particular process. So this portion is allocated, rest of the free. Now the turn of the third process, which is having the size of 112 kilobyte. So once again the search will be beginning from the starting point. This is not enough space. Yes, here is 500 kilobyte in which 212k is allocated, rest of is the free. So the next size which is enough to the that 112k, so next this free space is allocated to that particular process, and rest will be the free. So now the turn of the fourth process, which is 4 to 6 kilobyte, is arrived, and search once again search will be beginning from the starting point. But now you can see there is no block having the capacity of the size 4 to 6 kilobyte. So this block will not be allocated any block. So here the process of size 4 to 6 kilobyte will not get any partition for allocation. So this is the fastest algorithm because it searches as little as possible. Yes, because search will be beginning from the starting point. Here memory loss is higher as very large hole may be selected for the small process. Yes, that can be happen. Suppose if any block at large block at the beginning and some small processes come, and then that particular block will be allocated, then the rest of the memory will be wasted. Here process of size 4 to 6 kilobyte will not get any partition for allocation. Yes, true, in the previous exam this process has not find any free block, so this process will not get a chance to execute. So this is all about the first feed. Let us see the next feed. So in next feed, what will happen? So it works in the same way as the first feed, except that it keeps the track of where it is whenever it finds a suitable hole. So in this, the next time when it is called to find hole, it starts searching list from the place where it left off last time. So what happened? If the first process comes into the picture, the searching will be started from the first point. Once the block will be allocated, and suppose if next process comes into the picture, then search will be beginning from that point of. So this concept is known as the next feed. Let us take the example same as the previous one. 4 processes we have. So first process is 214k, so search will be beginning from here. First enough space block is 500k, so this will be allocated to that process, and rest 288 kilobyte will be free. Next process that is comes into be 417k, and then search will be beginning from here, not from the starting point. So from here beginning will searching will be started, and the next block which will find that is 600K, and this process will be allocated to that particular block, and the rest of the memory will be free. So now our search is stopped over here, and suppose this next process comes into picture, which is 112K. So now search will be beginning from here itself. So rest of the memory is also enough to this process. So next this process will be allocated here, and now this is our repartition. Now what will happen? Our next processes comes into the picture, that 426K. So there is no next free available slot. Okay, and from starting point there is no next free block is there to store this process. So this block process will not get any block, same as our first frame. So here the process, this 426K will not get any partition. So here search time is smaller, yes, because where you are stopping, once again you are starting from that particular point. So this is the faster one. Memory manager must have to keep the track of all last allocated file. Yes, here you have to keep the track where you have stopped last time. From that particular point you have to begin your search for the next process. It gives slightly worse performance than the first. Yes, it is giving the slightly worse performance than the first field, because once you have completed, then you cannot get the chance to come in from the first slot. Yes, here this process 426K will not get any partition. So now next algorithm is best fit. So let us see what will happen in this best fit. So in this algorithm, the entire memory is searched first. Then the smallest hole or block which is large enough to hold the process is selected for allocation. Yes. So when any process comes into the picture, then what happened? The full memory will be scanned, all the block will be scanned, and it will find the smallest block which can hold that particular process. That block will be allocated to that particular process. So let us see the examples similar as the previous example. So first our process, that is size of 212K, then this the next for how it will be allocated. So first is our 212K. So full this memory will be scanned, and it will find which is the smallest hole and which is large enough to store this process, and that is 300K, because our size is 1 to 1K. So this is the smallest hole which can hold this process. This process will be allocated to this particular block, and rest of the 88K will be free. Next process is this 417K, that will comes into the picture. Once again the entire block will be scanned and find the smallest block that can hold this particular process, which is 500K. Yes, so this block will be allocated to the process. So 417K is allocated, and rest of the 83K will be free. Next process is 112K. So once again entire the memory will be scanned, and the smallest block will find out that 200K. So this 112K will be allocated here, rest 88K will be free. Now let us see this 426K. Search entire block. Okay, I find the smallest block to hold this process. Yes, we have, and that is 600K. This is free. So now this process will get a chance to get the block and allocated this block, and this particular memory will be allocated, and rest 174 kilobyte will be free. So this you can say here, this block is getting the chance to allocate the memory. So here you can search time is high. Yes, because if any process is coming, then your entire memory will be scanned. So search time is very higher, but your memory loss is very lesser. Okay, why? Because you are searching for the smallest block which can hold the your process, so your free space will be very lesser. So this is the advantages of your best fit. Last algorithm, which is your worst fit. Let us see what happened in this. So in worst fit, the entire memory is searched as per the previous algorithm, and what the concept, the largest hold, which is largest enough to hold the process, is selected for algorithm. In previous one, the smallest hold will be selected, and in this algorithm, the entire memory block will be searched, and the largest block will be find out for the that particular process. So let us take the example. These are the our four various processes, and yes, here is how. So first process 212K, so it will search the entire block. So largest block will find the 600K. The 212K will be allocated here, and the rest of will be free. Next process, that is 417K, entire block will search. So the next largest block is this 500K. So this process will be allocated here, and then this is the free memory. Next is 112K, entire block will be searched. So here this free space is be largest than the all other blocks. So this process will be allocated over here, and rest of the memory will be free. Now the next process is come, that is 426K. Entire memory will be scanned, but there is no block having the enough capacity to hold this process. So this process will not get a chance to allocate any blocks. So here there is some disadvantage, okay, than the best fit. So search time is higher, same as because every time entire memory will be scanned. The algorithm can be used only with the dynamic part. Yes, if you are using the dynamic partitioning, then you can use this kind of the, because why? In dynamic partitioning, every time the free available block will be merged together, and then it will form the large block, and that can be reutilized next time. So this kind of algorithm can be used with the dynamic part. Okay, so this is all about our today's session. We'll see a few more concepts in the next session. So keep watching and like and subscribe this video so you can get our updates. Thank you.